Well, welcome to the Perth Property Pod, episode number 11. Alan Burke here from Burke's Property. I'm joined by Chanel Ray. Welcome,
Hello.
Chanel. Great to have you on board.
Great to be here, Alan. Thank you.
Chanel's from Chanel Ray Property Styling, and today we're going to talk about why a home seller would use a property stager or stylist. And we were discussing off mic earlier on the differences between stylists and stagers, and that's worthy of note. But Chanel, how did you get into staging and styling?
Well, Alan, I have been in the real estate industry for most of my career, about 22 years, so never sold.
As a child?
No, or mostly in administration roles and commercial real estate, HR management, then went into residential HR management. And a few years, about 6 years ago, I felt the need for more, I guess, flexibility with having my daughter, actually.
Okay.
And I thought,
Tiffany?
what do I love doing? And yeah, I've always had a passion for, I guess, interior design, styling homes. To make
You always hear the expression as one door shuts, another one opens. Well, this literally was an opening door into styling.
It was, and I studied interior design while doing a bit of sort of work on the side, and leaped into staging. It became more popular, and there's certainly a market gap, and it was slowly becoming in demand, which is time. Yeah.
So we use these words staging and styling synonymously. We interchange them, and I've always thought they were the same. But you've enlightened me earlier on as to there are stylists and stagers. Can you try and define the difference?
Yes, it's a bit of a grey area because it can be confusing even to us. I guess a stylist and a stager can be two of the same thing. We call ourselves a stylist and we stage homes, similar to a real estate agent and a sales representative.
Yep.
But ultimately, a stylist could potentially work for an interior design company, and they're not focusing on staging homes.
Yep.
They're more forever homes.
Yep.
And we stylists working for a staging, we focus purely on staging for short-term, for homes for sale.
Okay. Yeah. So the way I read it is, a stylist, you could style your home and never stage it, and you live in it happily because you've had a stylist come in.
Yeah.
A stager is someone who does a snapshot in time and says, I want this property to look as good as it could be for the month.
Exactly.
So you would employ a stylist to do a staging.
Correct.
I got it.
Love it.
I got it. Right. Okay. All right. So why should a homeowner look at having a stylist stage their home? I did that well.
Question.
Yeah.
The reason, I guess, we believe in what we do, a homeowner is potentially selling their biggest asset, and they want to achieve maximum sale price. You have one opportunity to present to buyers for that first impression, and by bringing a stager in who will collectively curate interiors for the property. We also think about the spatial planning, the right furniture for that property to really showcase it in its best light, to ultimately achieve that best sale price.
We're talking about adding value, and the value add is far more than the cost.
Exactly. We, obviously start to think about the right furniture. We would collate a truckload, potentially two, depending on the size of the property, and the amount of furniture, it can often exceed 30,000 plus, and then
investment, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. Yes, it is.
And a lot of people are selling vacant properties. Either the tenants moved out, or they've moved out of their own home to their new home. And rather than just sell an empty box, there's characterless and no charm and no ambience. Bringing the stager in, all of a sudden you create a lifestyle, perhaps even better than what you enjoyed in the former house.
It often is. It often is. Homeowners, once we've come in and staged, say, they say we want to live here now. We love it. So you do. We create a lifestyle. We provide how the room could look and how the new buyer could live in the property, and it really connects with them as they walk through. They start to visualize themselves living in the property, and we all know everyone falls in if you fall in love with the property. You often, so it's all connecting.
Have you buyers many times saying, "Can I buy the furniture?"
Yes, I have.
Is that right?
Often. Yeah. We don't always do that.
Yeah.
I have once, and I still missing the sofa that they. It takes we collect furniture over a number of years, and
some part of your life.
It does, the furniture family.
Yeah. So the quality of the furniture is really important, isn't it? So if you're trying to maximise the money for the seller, as you said before, 30 grand plus is what you're popping into these properties. So it's not a token gesture. It's really quite a significant investment, isn't it?
It is, and I've been known to spend way too much on the furniture, which I think it goes to the owner in the end, because it looks a lot better, and you can tell the difference. And buyers know the difference now between inexpensive and higher quality. So I think the value add is and elevating the property is by putting premium furniture in.
That's a good point, because even in the quality of the build, the buyers can see a quality built home. They can see an inferior built home, so that it's very important to match as best you can. If you've got a quality home and it's empty, you really want to maximise the showability or the exclusiveness of that property, don't you?
Absolutely. And people will, may sell homes million plus, and people are just online, which is the first time they see the property prior to even walking through, and they just see a room. They don't even know if that's a living room or an oversized bedroom or a games room. So when we actually put the furniture in, we're creating a purpose for that room, and then they sort of go, okay, it's got that room. That's what we need. And you really do create a purpose for each room, and that also comes in the planning.
Yes.
When we view a property, it's a property and it's a whole. So I won't walk in and see one room and go, that's definitely that, because you've got to piece together each room and the property and how best it would showcase, how best can we use those rooms or showcase those rooms, and that plays a huge part.
We do see it in homes where there's a weird design. You go, what is that room?
I always get the weird one.
No, you must get all the time. What am I going to do with this?
How am I going to figure this one out?
Like a study or a nursery or something else.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're often known to get the awkward layouts.
Yeah.
I mean, always, because often that's why someone brings in a stager, because they're like, I just struggled with how I place the furniture. So we really think of all that is taken into consideration. Yeah.
So do you get involved where owners have got some gear of their own and they want to mix their gear with your gear?
Yeah, look, it is difficult now, because when you're selling a property, you live in the property most of the time, unless you're an investor and the tenant's vacated. Unfortunately, we used to in the past. We just became, I guess, more focused, and the better result is really achieved if it is unoccupied and fully vacant. The reason being, the staging can be disconnected. And if you're trying to work with theirs, and it can be disconnected. I am known to be flexible in certainly agents I've worked with for years, or frequently, where if it's a dining table and it's a marble, really heavy, might be sold with the property, we can work with that.
Work around it.
If it's a high quality furniture, that can work. I've known to. But
there's often, when we sold ours, we had this sideboard that took 6 strong men to lift. That's staying.
That's staying, exactly. And some of those pieces are beautiful and unique, and they still add character too. So I'm not blanket rule shut, but short story, no.
Clean slate.
It gives the best result. If a homeowner's living in there, they've got to keep making the beds, they've got to keep cleaning the shower, and I guess in this market the properties are selling quite quickly, so they're not moving out for too long.
That's good. So I guess some of the examples of how it works well for us as the agent side of things is that we can turn a property that has formerly been on the market we can give it a new lease of life and reposition it. If let's say the owner's gear wasn't very good in the former marketing period, and all of a sudden they move out, we have a whole new look when people come there. Then you go, fabulous. Let's let's create a whole new look when buyers come back for a second look.
Exactly, and potentially achieve the price that they were trying to achieve. Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's several examples of that, where recently we have come in to stage a property that previously had been listed by another agent and semi-staged by another stager, and it was a partly mixed. The owners didn't achieve the result they wanted, and we have come in to completely stage the home 100% vacant, add the furniture that we feel would best be presented with the home, and it will be really interesting to see the results on.
It's a really good second opportunity. If someone has had a failure in selling or not achieved the price they want, change the agent, change the stylist, and relaunch it after a period of time and go, right, we've got to give it a whole new look.
Yeah. There's a little story with that one.
Okay.
I had because we often hire artwork, because artwork really makes a difference. And, I'll use similar furniture, and an artwork can just make such a change. So I collaborate with artists and bring in their artwork, and also an artist hire artwork. And she actually came into the property this morning. She also took artwork to the same property that was listed, and yes, that was formerly sold. And she's like, Chanel, I've been here, and she goes, it looks amazing.
Whole different look.
It looks completely different. Yeah. So yeah, it really does.
So, if there were people that were looking at that property before and said, no, it's not us, they may come back and go, hey, this is us, because it's a whole new thing. And we had a situation on the weekend where Chanel, you came through and styled a property, and for Kyle, one of our sales guys, and I know on the weekend he had 10 offers on that property on the first, I think it was released on the Friday, sold on the Saturday, fully styled, thank you, courtesy of you, and the owners achieved 10% more, i.e. $75,000 more, and the cost, and we'll talk about a little later on, was nickels and dimes in compared to the total. That's probably why you're going to increase the price from now on. But
thanks, Alan. I might have to. No.
Let's give being reasonable. Thank you. Let's give the listeners a bit of an idea. Approximate costs, for an average property, obviously bigger homes, more furniture, more cost, but what are the approximate costs per month?
Yeah, I guess a standard home, and when I say standard, let's say medium-sized, and it has a main living, kitchen, dining, main bedroom, al fresco. They're the key areas if you're going to stage a property, I feel, are the minimum. You can stage all bedrooms if you like, not always fully necessary if you've got 5 bedrooms. And so the average cost on that would normally be around $3,500 to $4,000. Yep. And that includes all the furniture, the bedding, all the decor, the selection, the packing, the delivery, the installation, the steaming, the 4-week hire period, which is, so that starts from obviously the day we install. And we do try and align everything with the photography on the same day to really maximise that hire period and have that first home open, that weekend.
That'll be fine. Average days on market in Perth right now is 15, so 30's tons.
It's almost too much sometimes.
Yeah.
We used to have
fun. Unconditional. The owners and you probably go, well, let's get it out.
Absolutely. We used to have a 5-week hire period, and it was just too long. Normally, the highest sort of, I guess the highest offers generally, not always, in the changing market, are achieved in the first couple of weeks. As soon as it sits sort of too long.
Yeah, I would have thought that 3 weekends, i.e. 2 weeks, is tons.
Yeah.
And that'll be the same for at least another 12 months.
Yeah.
So What are some of the things that people, I see the results of your styling, but I don't see what happens behind the scenes before you get there and the meeting with the sellers or whatever it be. Give us some ideas of what happens in the background.
Yeah, I guess from the beginning process, which is the phone call from either the agent or the seller, wanting to get a quote, and I can often provide a quote if there's pre-existing photos online, so it's been sold before. It's always subject to a site visit.
Yep.
Similar to an appraiser, you can't appraise a home until you've seen it. So we can do a general quote just so they've got an estimation of costs, and I'll send that within about 24-hour period. If it's an awkward home and it's, half of the photos aren't online, I will go and arrange a site visit as soon as possible, depending on when they're wanting to go up on the market. And as soon as I step foot into that property, we piece together how that would best look and start to think about the furniture that would work best. So then we provide the quote, we go ahead with the quote, we then sort of book in a soon or a desirable preferred installation date to align with the agent, and when the homeowner might still be doing painting or some repairs or a vacation of a tenant. So we just align everything together, and I guess the planning is in my head, but physically we start packing the day before with the bedding and decor. On the morning of the install, just to give you a picture of how it all works at the warehouse, we show the logistic crew, so our removal crew, all the furniture by just a good old tag of a tape.
All right.
So different coloured tapes.
What furniture goes in what rooms?
Absolutely, yeah. We have sections of the warehouse which have, our sofas or our beds, and we do have obviously a working schedule. So the guys know if it's the property address, the size of the property, how many truckloads, how many beds. And it takes about an hour and a half for us to load a standard truck. And the stylist and myself will go and unpack all the decor. The guys will unload. We'll be frantically chaos mess for the whole day, which Kyle saw yesterday. And that last hour, it's like being on the block where you've got tools down. Because we do also, we steam the linens, we vacuum up, we wipe the benches, make sure it's literally photo ready that day. So it's all in one day because we've just got to.
So how many would normally be in half a dozen? Is that sort of numbers?
Staged at one time?
No, sorry, the number of people, the personnel.
Oh, okay. No, there's myself. I've got an assistant stylist and 2 removal crew on one job. I've got 3 on 3 staff, so it's a team of 5 we have. Okay. Yeah.
So how many jobs would you do?
We booked out most days, so every day on install. So generally, we do around 3 to 4 installs a week, right. And then we also have to allow for removals.
So, what lead time do you need to get going?
2 weeks is great.
Yep,
2 to 3, the more the better.
Yep. Every bit there.
Yeah.
So, what's the key? Why are you so successful?
I honestly don't know. I think you've got to love what you do.
Yep.
You've got to have a passion. I bounce out of bed getting ready. I love it. Yep. I do. And just I've always loved that too from childhood, making rooms beautiful. It's just the perfect combination of real estate, property, interior.
And seeing great results, A, for the property and B, for the owners. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Chanel Ray Property Styling. What's your mobile?
0414 986 284.
Chanel, been a pleasure, and our time is done, and hopefully our listeners learned something today.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you.